If you have not seen my other videos, I'm reading a book right now called Psycho-Cybernetics, which is basically just about why what you think is so important because it creates the life around you. And right now I'm on chapter 4, which talks about dehypnotizing yourself from false beliefs. So in the beginning of the chapter, he gives an example of a boy who is having a bad start at math. And the teacher sees this and is convinced that he's just dumb at math. Seeing that, he goes to tell his parents the same fact, that he's dumb at math, and to not expect too much from him, right? So the teacher and his parents both think this, so he ends up adopting the belief that he's not going to be good at math. So one day the teacher writes a problem on the board that the entire class doesn't know how to solve. But the boy gets an insight and he thinks he knows how to solve it. So he tells the teacher and the entire class laughs at him. And he's annoyed that these other kids in the class think they're smarter or better than him. So he gets up and does the problem, and to their amazement, he's actually correct. And this gives him a new confidence, and he realizes that he can actually be good at math. And for the remainder of the year, he actually did good at math. The point of that entire example is that the boy had been hypnotized by a false belief about himself, and that the power of hypnosis is the power of belief. And it doesn't matter how or where you got the idea. If you've accepted an idea from your friends, your teacher, your family, and you've really convinced yourself that it is true, that has the same power over you as a hypnotist's words have over a hypnotized subject. So since you think it's true, you think and believe differently, which ultimately makes you behave differently. So let me give you an example. If I think I have the ability to learn how to ride a bike, and I keep getting on and I keep falling, I'm going to keep getting on it until I eventually learn how to ride that bike. Now, let's say my parents are watching me learn how to ride the bike, and they keep telling me that, oh, you're never going to get this. You're never going to learn how to ride this bike. I'm pedaling and I start to believe this. And what's going to change is how I'm approaching the situation. So now every time that I fall off the bike, oh yeah, no, this hurt a little bit more. Maybe I don't have it. Oh, I did try this 30 times and I still haven't learned how to do it. Maybe they're right. And you've accepted the idea. Now the next time you go and you fall, you're just going to give up, because now you're finding reasons why you're not going to pick up how to ride the bike. Your behavior is going to be different towards it. The thought process is going to be different towards it. Now, what you once thought you could do and still have the capability to do, you're not going to do based off somebody's perception of you not being able to do it. This is why it is so important to know yourself, know what you are capable of, and let me tell you a secret. You're capable of doing anything. Anything you want to do, you can do. And then he goes on to tell another story about how a false belief aged a man 20 years. So the author that's writing this is a doctor or a surgeon, and he has a client that comes to him that wants his bottom lip reduced. And the reason he's doing this is because his girlfriend said he would never marry him until he fixes it. So the author agrees to do the surgery at a modest fee only if he tells his wife that it cost him his entire life savings, because the doctor knows that the wife doesn't really love him. So he does that. He goes on, he tells his wife, and his wife starts freaking out, getting mad, saying she's never loved him, which the doctor already knew was going to happen, right? After that, it actually goes further than what the doctor was expecting, because she tells him that she's actually been placing a voodoo curse on him, which is genuinely crazy. See, this is why y'all gotta know who y'all messing with. Anyways, that gets said, and a couple weeks later, he gets a bump on his bottom lip. So now he's told by the surgeon to visit another doctor, which diagnoses it as an African bug bite or an African bug bump, which basically can take all your strength away and make you weak. So he hears this and automatically starts believing it to be true. So he starts behaving differently. He starts losing his appetite. He literally dropped 30 pounds. His eyes and cheeks were sunken, literally the signs of aging. He goes back to the author and he examines his lip, and it's not the African bug. It's actually just a scar tissue from the surgery. So he truly believed it to be what the doctor diagnosed it to be, even though that wasn't it at all. So he started behaving differently, which made it become true. He cut the bump or the scar tissue off his lip from the last surgery and showed it to him, and instantly he started behaving differently, which goes to show you're genuinely creating your life. If you have a belief about yourself that you want to change, change it. Very important what ideas you repeat to yourself, because eventually you're going to convince yourself they're true and you're going to behave in whichever way you think is true to you. So you're in control of that. Really lock in and pay attention on a daily basis. If your thoughts aren't getting you to the person you know you can be, then change your thinking. Change the way you see things. Truly believe it, and you're going to start acting in accordance with that. And he goes on to make another point of how to cure your inferiority complex. And he's basically just saying inferiority and superiority are two sides to the same coin. But what you have to realize is the coin itself is not genuine, not authentic, and not true. You're not inferior. You're not superior. You're just you. And he gives an example of this by saying that a bodybuilder who can lift a lot more weight than him, he is inferior to. But the bodybuilder is inferior to him because he can't perform a surgery like he can. Now, just because they're both inferior to each other doesn't make them inferior as an entire person. They're just inferior in that regard. And they're only that way because they care about different things. So there is no normal. There is no social normal. There is no normal at all. You just pay attention to what you want because you're you. You're an individual. Nobody's the same. That's why it is so important to stay true to yourself. Let's say you're a guy and you want to get into a relationship with a girl who believes in social normals but doesn't know what she truly wants, and she's miserable. You're going to end up in the same position as her because she's going to want you to do what's socially normal, which you don't find to be true, to make her happy, but she's already miserable because she doesn't know who she is already. So it's like you have to be authentic to you, believe who you want to be, truly think you can do it, and you can do anything imaginable. Nothing in this world is unachievable or unreachable. Everything is achievable. Everything is possible. You can do whatever. Think of this as a sandbox. You can create anything in it. So you need to just get rid of them self-beliefs. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I learned. I'm going to keep you guys updated on the next chapter.